Your turn, Yugi boy.
What is up, guys? This is Linthio coming at you with an updated version of my Toon deck profile for the April 2016 ban list. Now, this deck has taken a fair bit of change, if I'm honest, and I'm really looking forward to showing you what I've come up with. So, without further ado, we go straight into it. So, starting us off, we have the Toon Cyber Dragon. The reason why I'm running this card is simply because, as you probably saw, Infinity is in here because it's just a really nice way to protect Toon Kingdom and just overall a lot of different ways to kind of abuse it, which I'll go into a little bit later. Obviously, Toon Cyber Dragon is a searchable card with things like Toon Table of Contents. So yeah, it's really, really good, if I'm honest. It's been working nice, and you know, it's not too bad just to have a card coming out and beat your opponent down. Because it just generates a couple of extra attack points and monster presence as well. Next up, we have the Toon Gemini Elf. Toon Gemini Elf is still one of the best cards in here. Now that, you know, there are things like Burning Abyss running around and Monarchs that can use cards in the graveyard. It's not all that great, but you can still use it to your effect. You don't have to activate its effect. So, yeah, that's an important thing to remember. So, Toon Gemini Elf, just a really solid card at 3. A 1/9 beta is always good. Next up, Toon Mass Sorcerer. This card's just so good. Being able to allow you to draw cards when it attacks is just so good. This card actually does activate fully, so you have to activate it. So, important thing to remember there. But yeah, Toon Mass Sorcerer, really solid card, in my opinion. Next up, we have 2 Summon a Monk, and to go along with that, we have a Card Guard. Now, I was doing a lot of different testing recently with this kind of little variation, little engine in here, and it's just been working really, really well. Card Guard's a great effect because you will normally, what I like to do is bring Summon a Monk out, then bring this out, and then let Card Guard resolve, and then activate Toon Kingdom to see if I can do that, because it then means I can make a different couple of plays, or I can change up my style if I do need to. So Card Guard's working really well. Only the one of, though, you don't really want to draw into it. You kind of want to just get it with Summon a Monk. But at worst case, Summon a Monk can bring out these guys. So it's still really nice, and not forgetting that Mass Sorcerer is a dark if you really want to go into any of the other dark target Xyz. So this has been working really nice, as I said. If Summon a Monk was at 3, would I play it at 3? The answer is yes, because Summon a Monk is working really well. You play a lot of spells in this version, well, I personally do, and I think for a lot of toons you do anyway, so it works really well. So these guys are just really nice addition to this version of the build. So starting us off for the spells, we have the Toon Kingdom. Obviously, you run 3. Because, you know, this card is the heart and soul of the deck. This is what gets it all running. I don't run any Toon Worlds because, one, this is a Toon World, and Toon World's just pointless card. Because while it's kind of alright for how the deck runs, it's obviously a staple, but this just completely outclasses it, and there's really no need to actually run any other form of the card of Toon World. So yeah. Next up, here's an interesting one for you. We have 3 Comic Hands. Yes, 3. So I was doing a lot of testing, and I found that basically Comic Hand wins games. Now, I'm pretty sure that's an obvious thing, and I knew that anyway, but I had it at like a 1 and then a 2, and when you actually see it, you can make a lot of different plays. The reasoning behind this is, obviously you have to have Toon Kingdom, but that's the only thing you need to have. A lot of people will try and suppress the monsters being summoned, and I will normally play it out that if I have a Comic Hand and my opponent has a big monster, I'll try and bait out anything to stop my monsters coming down. So a lot of people will do things like Solemn Warning just to kind of get rid of it, to make sure that they can pave the way next turn to get to my life points. And then I drop the Comic Hand on them. And, you know, Comic Hand is just really good because, you know, it's just so good. You don't have to have one. You can do multiple ones. You don't have to activate it once per turn. And, you know, I just really do love it for that. So Comic Hand is a really solid card. At 3, it's just been working oh so good. Better than I thought it would. Next up, we have the 3 Instant Fusion. Now, I'll give it away. I have Panzer Dragon in the extra deck, so that's where Infinity and Toon Cyber Dragon come in. But there is also one Nodin in there too, so you can make a lot of different plays with Instant Fusion. It's also a target for Summon a Monk if you do want to get rid of it. So 3 Instant Fusion has been working amazingly for the way that I want to build this deck. Then we have 3 Toon Table of Contents. Of course, not my supers. I don't have supers yet, but I will. Don't worry, Pegasus, I will. That was a bit creepy. And yeah, Toon Table of Content, you need to run it at 3. There's no real arguments, no real two ways about it. It's needed. That's kind of it. Next up, I have the 1 Terraforming. Now, before the battle list hit, I was testing the deck with 2 Chicken Game and 3 Terraforming, and it was working really well. Then Chicken Game got hit and hurt the consistency slightly. So that was slightly annoying, but yeah, I still bumped down the Terraforming to 1 because 2 is a little bit overkill, in my opinion. Obviously, you want to get to Toon Kingdom as quickly as possible, but having a Toon Table of Mass Contents, you know what I mean. Having a Toon Table of Contents and things like that, you can get to it fairly quickly. So Terraforming at a 1 is just nice. I know you can argue the fact that you can have multiple ones and then it is fodder for Summoner Monk, but this deck is so tight that I have a lot of different cards in here that I want to make sure to keep in. So yeah, Terraforming at 1 is actually working still really well. I just wish they didn't hit Chicken Game. If they had Chicken Game at 1, I would have Terraforming at 2, just so you know. Next up, we have the 1 Moon and Mirror Shield. This card is so trollsy. So I run it at 1. You can argue that I can have Hidden Armory as well in this deck, but I kind of really need my normal summon. So I might retest it and have a Moon Mirror Shield as well as, say, 2 Hidden Armory so I can search out the comic hands and such, but yeah, we will see. So Moon Mirror Shield is a really great card. You equip it to it and then it gains the attack or defense of the monster that it attacks into, so you're always going to get over it by 100. So really, really nice. And also if you use it with Toon Gemini Elf or use it with Mass Sorcerer, you're either going to get a discard from the hand or a draw. So that's a really nice thing. It's a nice backup, and also you can just send it to the top of the deck or bottom of your deck by paying 500 life points when it goes to the grave. So yeah, really great card, really enjoying it. And yeah, I will test more Hidden Armory shenanigans, but the problem is this deck is so tight, it's unbelievable. 1 up Star Goblin. I did have 3, but I can only play 1 now. Rip. So 1 is still good because it still allows me to get to consistency and all that. Technically, you could remove this if you wanted for another Terraforming. Completely down to yourself, but the Upstart has been working well for me at 1. Next up, one of my techs is Toon Shadow. This card, I think people don't realize how good it is. It's searchable off Toon Table of Contents, and it's if you control a Toon World, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of the face-up monster. You can only do it once per turn. So this card is just game winning. What I really love doing with it is activating Shadow Toon, inflicting the damage, then comic handing your opponent's monster that you've just done, and then attacking with it. So this card's really good. It ends games really nicely, and overall it's just really, really good. So Shadow Toon, really do love it at 1. You could arguably play more if you really want, but that's it. Yeah. So then going on to the traps, we have 3 Quaking Mirror Force. This card is insane in this deck. It really is. Simply because your Toons can just sit there, they attack, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to flip them all down. And your Toons don't care. Because even if they have a Toon on their side of the field, it's flip face down and it's not a Toon. Obviously, that's really never going to happen. But the whole point of this card is that you basically just stop your opponent from attacking, you clog their field, and you don't need to get past... you don't need to attack into the monsters. You just attack over them into your opponent's life points directly. So Quaking Mirror Force, in my opinion, is a solid staple 3 for any Toon deck because it really hurts your opponent. And especially if it's a Burning Abyss player, they're so screwed. They have to somehow try and get rid of their face-down monsters because the rule states that a face-down monster is not a Burning Abyss monster. Even if it was attacked into its Burning Abyss and flip face down, and public knowledge is that it is a Burning Abyss, the game state doesn't recognize it as one, so if they summon monsters that are Burning Abysses, they have to get destroyed. So that's why this is so good against Burning Abyss. So yeah, really good card, really do love it, and yeah, you should definitely be running it at 3. Next up, we have 3 Toon Briefcase. You might think this is a bit too much, but you only need a 2 monster on your side of the field to activate it, so it's not too difficult at all. Searchable again by Toon Table of Content, and just really, really solid. Being able to just shuffle stuff back into your opponent's deck or extra deck is just really nice, so I really do like it. It doesn't negate the summon, unfortunately. Maybe that might have been a bit too broken if it did, but overall, really, really, really great card, and yeah, you can technically run it at 2 if you so wish, but I like running it at 3. Next up, we have the 2 Solemn Strike, just to protect Toon Kingdom or any of my monsters by special summons or monster effects. So just in general, really solid card, and yeah, everyone knows about it, and people are still salty that it didn't get hit to 1 or banned. 1 Torrential Tribute. You're protected under Toon Kingdom by your own monster, so you happily can do this and just banish, so it works. The 1 Vanity's Emptiness. Vanity's Emptiness is just great. Really good card as usual. You can lock your opponent down with different ways, which I'll show in a little bit. 1 Starlight Road. So I've got Starlight Road in here simply because it means that I can slightly protect my board in the ways that, you know, Twin Twister is a thing. And a lot of people will just recklessly go, your Toon Kingdom and one of your face downs. That's where Starlight Road comes in. You could run more if you really want, but I'm just running it at 1. It's because it can clog. You need to have a bit of a setup for it to be good. So that's just one of the ones that I'm running. Technically, you can run, what's the card? It is called The Huge Revolution is Over instead to banish it, but it's completely down to yourself. I like having the option that I can get a Stardust Dragon. And then finally, we have the 1 Microcosmos. This card's just amazing. Works well with Vanities, obviously. And, you know, the fact that you're protecting your Toons with Toon Kingdom, it's going to banish anyway. Microcosmos really helps you as opposed to, you know, hurting you. So, Microcosmos, really great card for this deck, in my opinion, and I really do love it. So going on to the extra deck, we have the 2 Cyber Dragon Infinity. Infinity is in here, obviously, with the Cyber Dragon Nova. These cards are just really great. These I've just found really help the deck because I have, obviously, as I said earlier, 2 Panzer Dragons, which I'll get onto in a little bit, in the extra deck with a Cyber Dragon, Toon Cyber Dragon, so I can easily go into a Nova. All I need to do is open up with an Instant Fusion and a Toon Table of Content or a Toon Cyber Dragon, obviously, to go into Nova and then go into Infinity. It's nice because if I can, I'll do that first and then activate my Toon Kingdom to be able to protect it with Infinity. So overall, it works really well. It's kind of disgusting that Toons can play this, but I can. So I'm going to continue to do it and make people really angry. Also, really random extra deck sleeves because they change now. I just realised that. So going on to the other targets for the extra deck, we have the 1 Steel Swarm Roach, the 1 Daigusto Emerald if I just want to shuffle any stuff back in, the 1 Silent Honor Arc, still very good card, the 1 number 106 Giant Hand, still good, of course, I believe. I don't believe, I know. The 1 Castell, again, really great card. 1 Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller still good. Norden, you can make sure it goes up to 2/2, so that's all good. The 1 Key Beetle. So this is one of the important things. One of the plays you can do is go into, what's it called? Summon a Monk, then get a card guard out, that's it. And because they're both darks, you can go into a Key Beetle. So card guard will protect Toon Kingdom, then Key Beetle can protect a back row, for example, like a macro or a Vanities. So it's really nice little locks you can do. So overall, it's just a really solid card and very easily you can go into it, simply because you can also do it with Toon Mass Sorcerer because he is a dark. Next up, we have the 2 Panzer Dragons or Panzer Drak, which is the German name because I really like them as German. And yeah, just in general, really easy Instant Fusion target. If all else fails, you know, it can just be a simple pop for your opponent when it dies by Instant Fusion. So yeah, really nice. As I said, not too much. You can kind of see how the combo goes, but yeah, so really, really good. Really do enjoy having them. The 1 Norden, simply because you can only play 1 now, and I do run 3 Instant Fusion, so it makes sense. And then finally, the 1 Stardust Dragon for the Starlight Road target. So that is it, guys. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of my new Toon deck profile. I believe this is probably one of the most consistent and powerful ones that I've ever done. I removed things like, what was it, Magical Reflector and all that, to protect Toon Kingdom because it just didn't really work well. They required too much setup, and I just found them being more annoying. So I've replaced them with things like Card Guard, which have multiple use, and also Cyber Dragon Infinity to protect it, so other things like that. So as I said, let me know down in the comment section below what you think of the deck. Pegasus is watching over me as I have done this deck profile, so that is really good. Looking forward to more Toon support coming out in the further sets. So as I said, let me know down in the comment section below what you think of the deck profile. Make sure to stay tuned for more. Make sure to leave me a like, comment, subscribe, and I shall catch you guys later.